So, you opened Canva, got into the editor, and felt kind of lost. Things have changed a lot since the last time you used it. Or it could be the case that you are a new Canva user and feel overwhelmed. If this is you, no worries. I'm here to help. In this video, I'll walk you through the new Canva editor layout to show you exactly where the tools are, and by the end, you'll feel completely at home and ready to start designing. To access the editor, we'll begin by creating a new document. And in here, I suggest we follow exactly the same steps so we can see the same things and the same options on the screen. From here, I'm gonna click on social media, then we're gonna click on Instagram, and we're gonna select Instagram story. This is going to create a new document and will take you directly to the editor. By default, the design window will be open, but for us to be able to see clearly the structure of the editor, we're going to click on any section of this gray area to collapse the design window. In the editor, you'll see 4 different sections: the navigation bar on top, the menu at the bottom of the screen, the canvas where you'll be designing, and the side panel. By the way, if you are watching this tutorial, you are probably new to Canva and want to learn more. If that's the case, we have a Canva master course that takes you from beginner to advanced. And it is a course that we keep updating. You will see new classes whenever Canva launches new features. I believe this is the perfect way for you to learn more about Canva and also stay up to date with how Canva is evolving. You can learn more about this master course by scanning this QR code or clicking the link in the description. Let's start by discovering the navigation bar on top. This bar might look slightly different while using a Canva free and pro account. The one that you are seeing here on the screen, the one that I'm using, is a Canva Pro account. First, you will see this button that will open the menu that we saw already on the homepage. You will have quick access to all of the sections and also to the menu. You can close this menu and come back to the editor by clicking again on this button. Next, we have File. In this menu, you will have different options related to your Canva document. From here, you can also change the name of your document. The ones that I use the most are settings and also move to a folder. Move to a folder allows me to keep all my designs organized. And under settings, you will see options like show rulers and guides and margins. These are the 2 that I use the most on this menu. So let me show you. Show rulers. We have now these rulers. And from here, we'll be able to create guides on our design. Let me go back to file. I don't need these guides at this moment. So I'm going to click here one more time to hide them. Then we have resize. This is a pro feature, and from here you'll be able to resize this document. You can either resize this design or copy and resize. You will find all of the different categories in here, or you can also resize your document to a custom size. And at the bottom, a little bit hidden, you will see magic switch. From here you'll be able to translate your designs, or you can also transform them into a document. Next, you have the editing mode. This one, I normally don't touch it because I'm always editing my designs, but if you want to view a design and just be able to comment to make sure that you don't touch or move anything on the design, you can change this option to commenting, or if you just want to view a design, click here on viewing. For this course, I do suggest you don't touch this option, just leave it as editing. This will allow us to have access to all the editing options, which is basically what we need to be able to create designs in Canva. Next, we have the undo and redo button. Next to it, we have the cloud status, which show us if all our changes have been saved. If by any chance you go offline, this cloud will let you know. Once you go back online, you will see a check mark on the cloud. Now let's go to the other side of the navigation bar. We have here the name of our design or our document. And you can also change the name from here. Hit enter to save the changes. You then have normally your profile picture in here because you are logged in into this design, and you have this plus icon. With this plus icon, you'll be able to share this design with others. So if somebody else logs in into this design, you will see their profile picture appearing in here. We then have analytics. This is a Canva Pro feature, and from here you'll be able to see how many visits this design had. Next to it, we have comments. In Canva, there are a lot of options to collaborate, and one of those options are comments. So you can leave comments to any page of your design or to any element, and those comments, you will see them in here. Because I'm using a Canva Pro account, I have this button that says publish as brand template, and then we have the share button. From here, we'll be able to download or share our designs in different ways. Now let's take a look at the menu that we see at the bottom of the screen. Let's start from left to right. First, you have notes. This will open a window from where you can add notes, and they will be saved on every single page. So if I add a note on page 1, so let me write here page 1, and then I decide to create a page 2, these notes will be empty. So I'm gonna add notes to page 2. So you can see that every page will have different notes. So page 1, this is the notes on page 1, and then page 2, it's different. Let's go back to the menu at the bottom. Next to notes, we have duration. When you click here, instead of seeing these thumbnails of every single page on your design, it will change and you will see the pages on a timeline. This feature is pretty useful when you are working on videos or animations. You can leave this activated if you need it, but if you don't need it, you can click again and you will go back to the thumbnail view. Coming back to the menu at the bottom of the page, we have this slider that allows us to zoom in and zoom out on our design, and this slider will have another extra option if you have duration activated. So let me activate it, and you now have this zoom page or zoom thumbnails. So if I leave it on zoom page, the zoom will be applied on the page. So you see, but if I click here on this icon and then you see zoom thumbnails, we will be zooming in and zooming out on these little thumbnails instead of the page. So you see like this. This will allow you to trim your clips or work on your animations more precisely. Now let me go back to the other view. I'm going to deactivate duration just to show you that next to this slider we have this option that says zoom. When you click here, you will have some predetermined options, and you can also fit your page to the design or field. So let me click on fill. Now let me click on fit, and then you can play around with these other options if you want. I'm gonna leave it as fit, and then we have pages. In here, you'll be able to change this preview on your document. So at the moment, we see pages, but if we want, we can also hide these little thumbnails. So when I click here, I only see the pages, and I'll be able to scroll down and scroll up. We then have go to page. If you are working on a design with multiple pages, maybe 100 pages, then this option becomes very useful. So when I click here, I can quickly go to a page that I want. I only have 2 pages here, but at the moment I'm located on page 1. And when I add the number 2 in here and hit enter, it takes me directly to page 2. We then have the grid view. This is useful when we have multiple pages in the same design to be able to have an overview of all the pages, all the designs that we have in here. And you can close the grid view by clicking on this icon again. You can present this design full screen by clicking on these arrows, and to exit, click again on these arrows pointing inwards. And lastly, you have the help icon. You can ask Canva for ideas, advice, or questions from here. Now, let's discover the different tools available in the designing area. On top of every page, you will see a set of tools. And to the right, you have the option to move up and move down your pages. You can hide a page, you can duplicate them from here, you can delete them, or you can create new pages. This set of tools will be visible if you are previewing your design as pages. If on the other hand, you are previewing your design as page thumbnails, let me click here, these options won't be visible in here. You will need to hover on the thumbnail of of the page, click on these three dots to open a menu. From here, you'll be able to change the name of your page, copy, paste, and so on. If you're using a thumbnail view, you'll be able to change the order of your pages by clicking and dragging them. You can add pages from here, and a pretty new feature in Canva is that you can add new pages with different sizes in the same document. So if you click on this arrow, instead of creating one page with the same format as the previous one, let me show you. If I click here, you will get a new page with the same format as the previous one. But if you click on this arrow, you'll be able to create a new page with a completely different format. So let's say that I want to add a sheet to this document. Let me click here, and now we have a sheet in here. Let me add a presentation. Now we have a presentation format on the new page. And you can also add different formats if you are previewing your design as pages. So let me go back to pages. And if you scroll down all the way down, you will see this huge button that says add a page, and next to it, the little arrow. From here, you'll be able to select the other format that you want. In this case, because I added a whiteboard, and if I want to go back to another page, I can either go to page thumbnails or go to grid view. From here, I will select the page where I want to go and double click. In this case, I just want to keep the first page. I'm gonna delete the extra pages that I'm not going to use in this lesson. So I simply drag and select all of the pages and delete them from here. Can come back to this page by double clicking, and now we're ready to start the side panel. Now let's take a look at the side panel. This is actually one of my favorite parts in the editor, and I'm sure you are also going to love it. From here, you'll get access to all the different libraries in Canva, and you will also get access to more tools that will allow you to make your designs look even better. This panel contains several icons representing different sections. When you hover your mouse over any icon, that section opens as a window. Moving the mouse away causes the window to disappear. You can fix this window to stay open by hovering over an icon and clicking once. Now, when you move your cursor away, the window will stay fixed. If you want to close it or collapse it, simply click on this arrow. Now, let's explore the different sections on this side panel. First, we have design. From here, you can search for any template using this search bar. You will see that there are two different tabs. At the moment, we are under templates, and then you have some keywords that will allow you to filter the search results. Below these keywords, you will see this new feature that will allow you to generate videos instantly with the AI. You can play around with it, but for the sake of this video, I do suggest that we continue with what I'm explaining. We will come back to this feature later in the course. If you scroll down, you will see the designs that you used recently. You will see them here. You can add them to your design if you want by clicking one time, and then you'll be able to edit the design from here. Let me show you an example on how to search for stories. Let's say that I want to post a quote. So I simply click quote, and then I have some searches in here. So let's go for motivational quote, and I will have these designs that are more aligned to what I want to create. Okay, I'm gonna add this design to my page. So I click once, the template will change. And now let me go back to show you the other section under design, which is styles. And because I'm using a Canva Pro account, I have access to these brand kits in here. So with just a couple of clicks, I'll be able to change the fonts to our branded fonts. We can use our color palettes, but if you are using a Canva free account, you can use these combinations. You will see a combo of color palettes and fonts. So with just one click, you will change the aspect of this template. Now let me go back, because from here, you can also only change the colors on the design. So let me try with this one. We're gonna keep the same fonts. On the other hand, if you just want to change the fonts, you have different font sets in here, and you can change them with just one click. And we're done with the design tab. Now, let's discover the Elements section. In this section, you will have access to the media library in Canva. So you will come to the Elements tab, I would say 99% of the time when you are designing in Canva. In here we have a search bar. You have a couple of keywords that you can use to filter your results, and then you will have different categories of elements in this section. So what do we have in here? We have shapes. In here you can add any kind of line or shape to your design. So let me give you an example. When you click here, you are bringing a new line to your design. You can of course customize it, and then I wanted to show you this one in particular because with shapes, let's say that I'm gonna bring a circle to my design. With shapes, you can actually change this shape from here. So if you go to edit and you change your mind, you are thinking that maybe you don't want to use a circle, but instead you want to use a star, you can simply click and change the shape from here. You can change the color, as I already mentioned, and you can also play around with these following options. Another cool thing about shapes is that if you click in the middle of the shape, you'll be able to add text inside the shape, and you can also customize the text inside. And again, you can still change the shape if you want. Now let me delete this so we can continue with the other sections in the Elements tab. We then have graphics. From here you will have access to any graphic that you want, static or animated. You will see a couple of different categories in here and even collections of elements. These collections are elements with the same aesthetic. So you could use any of the elements in this collection and your design will still look on point as all of them have exactly the same style. Now let me show you something interesting in here. We're gonna search for the keyword heart. In this case, we see a lot of static elements. But what if we want to use an animated one? You're gonna click on this filter, and from here, you can filter your results by only animated. Let me go back because this is going to take us to the following category. Below graphics, we have stickers, and these are animated elements. So you see, we have some movement going on in here. The thing with the stickers category is that you will see a couple of categories in here, but you won't be able to search for what you need. That's why in this case, I do recommend that you go to graphics and then use the search bar in here and filter your results. Now, we also have access to the photo library. When you click see all, you'll be able to search for any picture that you want using this search bar. And then we have frames and grids. These two elements have exactly the same functionality. The only thing is that grids will adapt to your page. So let me bring one of these grids. You will see that it will cover the entire page. Now let me go back, and then if I add a frame, you will see that it won't cover the entire page. But under frames, you will see a lot of creative stuff. And for those of you who are still not sure about the functionality of frames, let me show you. I'm gonna bring this frame. This one has this phone shape. And then if I go back to the photos library, let's say, I'm gonna bring one of these photos and drop it inside the phone. So as you can see, these frames are going to crop your images, and they're also going to work as holders. You can drag any photo and they will change automatically. Now let me show you another example with this frame right here, and instead of inserting or dragging a photo on this frame, I'm gonna do it with videos because we also have access to the video library from here. Let me go to see all, and I'm just going to drag and drop. So as you can see, you can be very, very creative with these frames. Let me do again the same example, but using the phone frame. Now let me go back. You already saw that below grids, we have the video library. We also have an audio library. It works exactly the same way. You will have a search bar, keywords that will allow you to filter your results. You will then have a new feature called voiceovers. We're gonna tackle this feature later in the course, but I just wanted to mention that from here you will have access to songs that you can add on your videos. You also have access to sound effects. So let me show you. I'm gonna type sound effects, and then you will have a lot of different sound effects available in here. And if you want to be more precise, you can add the name of the sound effect you are looking for. You can use again the keywords that you see down below, or you can simply add it to the search bar. Now let me go back. Below audio you have charts. There There are so many different options you can choose from, and you can also customize these charts. You then have polls and quizzes. You have mockups. These are different than frames, but they work very similar to frames. So from here, you will see that we have mockups that are more realistic. These look actually like real photos. And in here, you will find video mockups. So let me show you quickly here. We have a video, and now let's try it out. Let's go up to photos, and I'm gonna drag this photo on top of the mockup. It will take a couple of seconds for the mockup to load, and now the video mockup is ready. Pay attention that we have now the photo inside the phone. Below mockups, we will see sheets, and this is a pretty new feature. This was available as a Canva document, Canva sheets, but we have access to them inside our designs now. So you can select any sheet and work on the sheet from your design. You can see I have access to the sheet and I can customize it from here. Now let me delete this. Below sheets, we have tables. You have different options in here, but of course you can also customize them. And then you have collections of elements. And that's about it. You can see that you will find pretty much everything you need in the Elements tab. But now let's continue and let's discover the Text tab. What we see on top of this section is a search bar, so you can search for fonts or font combinations. So for example, let's type here Montserrat and then hit enter. You will see that the font is here, and if you click on this button, you will add a new text box using this font. And below you will see some font combinations using the font Montserrat. So let me try this one here. I'm just gonna click and I have this font combination on my design. The first text box is using indeed Montserrat, and it has been paired with a font called Marta. Now let me come back to this section just to show you that there is a purple button that allows you to add a new text box to your design. So if you click here, you'll be adding a new text box. But there is a shortcut that you can use to add a new text box, and it is honestly the one that I use the most. You're gonna press the key T, and this will add a new text box to your design. Then we have Magic Write. This is Canva's AI helping you write copy. So let me show you, try an example, brainstorm ideas for marketing a new running shoe and explain the benefit of each idea. If you click on generate, you will have some copy that you can use as base for your next design. So you can either insert it or copy. Next, we have the brand kits. If you have a Canva Pro account, you'll be able to access your branded fonts from here. If you don't have a Canva Pro account, you probably won't be seeing this section. We then have page numbers. This one will be super useful if you are working on a multiple page design. You simply click here and a page number will be added to your design. So it's really small in here. And now if I add a page, I will continue having these smart page numbers on my design. Next, we have a new section. You can see here the new label next to apps. These are apps that will allow you to create custom text. We're not going to go into detail into these apps. We can try them out later. But then I just wanted to show you that at the end of this section, we have a bunch of different font combinations. So if you want to start a design from scratch and you don't know which font combination to use, you can come over to this section and find the different font combinations. There are some available for Canva Pro and some others that are completely free to use. So let me show you here in another page. So let me bring a font combination. I'm just clicking and I have it automatically on my design. You can see that I have two different text boxes and you can see the name of the font in here. And you can customize the text by simply double clicking on any text box and adding your text. I do suggest you go and check these font combinations as you will find some interesting pairings, but you will also find some text effects. So for example here, this is just one text box and one font. It's actually not a font pairing, but you will be able to see the effect that they applied in here. So they have added a shadow, and now if you add your text, it will have exactly the same effect. As I have already mentioned before a couple of times, brand or the brand kits are super useful if you have a Canva Pro account. I'm just going to show you what you will have access to in the editor from here. So basically, if you have a brand kit, you can set different brand templates that you can add to your design by simply clicking once. Let me replace current page. And as you can see, I have a branded design on this page. I have the colors, branded fonts, and even images. You also have access to your logos, branded color palettes, branded fonts, and if you have set your brand voice, photos, graphics, icons, and charts, they will be also available from here. And you can use more than just one brand kit from here. You can click on this arrow and then you can select another brand kit from here. Now let me go up to the first page to show you how easy it is to apply your branded colors to any design in Canva. Coming back to brand, you're going to select one of your color palettes and simply click on shuffle. And with just one click, we have our branded colors on the design. Next, we have uploads. From this section, you'll be able to access all the images, videos, and audios that you have uploaded to Canva. From this section, you can also record yourself from Canva and you can upload your own files from here. Next to the upload files, you have these three dots that will allow you to connect Canva to any of these options and like this, access the images that you have saved on any of these platforms. Now, coming back, you also have a search bar to find anything that you have in your uploads. This will work if your file has the right name or keywords. Let me show you an example. I'm gonna type Diana, and even though you see me here, I'm gonna hit enter. You will see some old images, and this is because I have named these designs or these images with my name. So you can see here we have Diana on the name of these elements. Now let's go back to the side panel. Let's discover tools. From here, we will have some shortcuts or easy access to different tools that you may use often while designing. We have a pointer that will allow you to select any element on your design. You have the drawing tool. You can select any of these brushes, eraser, you can change the color and the settings of your line. So you can actually draw in Canva. Let me delete this. You can add shapes from here, lines, sticky notes, text boxes, and tables. Let me close this window and let's go to projects. From here, you'll have access to your designs, folders, images, and videos. You can search for them or you can also filter them by all projects, your projects, and shared with you. And then we have apps. From here, you'll have access to all the Canva apps. You can search for them, and if you have used any apps in the past, you will find those apps under your apps. So you see we have Discover, and then we have your apps. This section will be useful if you have used an app, but you don't remember the name of the app. So let me give you an example from here. Run the tutorials. This is our app. This is our icon. You click here, you're going to access the app. And with this app, you will have access to our tutorials directly from the Canva editor. So if there is anything that you don't remember how to do, you can search for that tutorial. So let's say animations. You're going to choose the video that you need. Click one time. And then by double clicking on the video, you'll be able to view it, see all the tricks, apply them on your design, and then when you are done, delete the video. You will see that if you start using your apps, you're gonna go to your apps, you will see them listed under your apps, and you will also see them on this side panel. So you can quickly access them from here, or if you want to maintain a clean side panel, you can close them in here. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I've showed you everything that you can find in the new Canva editor. You should now feel confident and ready to design. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out our Canva master course. You can click in here or the link in the description. I think that's it for this tutorial, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!